Am I Chris 1 or am I Chris 2? That's the real question.
Oh, that's a big question.
That's a big question.
You're Chris 1.5. Reason. The Chris.
So there's 3 of us?
No.
So there's
no.
so
half?
who's not? There's no
the
1 or no 2.
Is there a midget, Chris?
The only reason why he's 0.5 above you is because A, I grew up with the dude. Okay. B, his mama done gave me multiple jobs. C, his brother is my
podcast host.
Yeah, and his brother's my best friend.
I made you a podcast host. What do you mean I didn't give you a job? It's still going. You never ended.
Yeah, but she gave me thousands of dollars.
Yeah, well, I gave you thousands of enjoyable hours.
Wow, Kyle, it's all about the money with you, man. That's
yeah,
rough.
right.
That's for
you know what they call that? Selling out. Selling out.
We want to talk about selling out. We want to talk about selling out, Schnabel. I remember somebody wasn't here for an entire month. That would have been very critical.
2 months.
2 months. 2 months.
2 months. 1 month that's actually kind of critical to my people. And another month where I was like, I wish my friend was here. I love Matt. He's great. But I wish I could have seen my friend if we want to talk about that. But let's not talk about that.
You know why I didn't show up, though? Because I knew I was 1.5. I was like, I'll never get that extra. I'll never get that extra. I'm 1.5. I'm not showing up. The whole time I was home, I just didn't want to be here. If I can't be number 1, he can do it on his own.
Schnabel was sitting on his couch going, "Oh, those guys are definitely recording. Fuck them."
Yeah, I didn't even say, "Oh, those guys are definitely recording." I was actually just sitting there in the background. You guys didn't even realize I was there, just looking on there and watching you guys.
He's just sitting there. 1.5 my ass.
1.5 my ass. Muting Kyle halfway through, unmuting him. Unmuting him. Why's my mic not working?
Kyle's yelling at his computer, just screaming at his computer, like, "Why aren't you working?" And you're just dying on the couch.
Well, my computer is so slow. I'm behind it, unplugging, plugging it back in. Plugging it back in. He doesn't even realize what's going on.
He's at your. He's at like outside your house, just switching the power on and off.
I imagine for some reason, even though he's in an apartment, I know where he lives. He just has this giant crank, like outside. For no reason, just this giant on-off.
He's just flipping it on and off.
How stupid is that? That in every like superhero cartoon from the 90s, there was always that giant on-off switch. Like that exists. Right. Like it doesn't exist. Yeah. Have they never heard of a breaker box? Like there's a ton of them. There's not one giant switch. We need to turn off the entire power for all of New York City.
They didn't even have that. They didn't have that in like
all
the
of New York just turns off.
They even had that in like the early 1900s. Like it was all breaker box even back then.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Where'd they get that from? So we need to turn off the power for the entire country. Well, there's the switch. Everything just turns off. It makes no sense. That, and you want to know something that's a complete myth? It's a complete myth that barely happened, if happened at all. Tying people up on train tracks in the Old West never happened.
Yeah, that
never happened.
Myth.
Where did that come from?
Yep, never happened.
Where did that come from? You know, honestly, and to be real with you, the person that tied people up is also so dumb because they always did it right next to where the tracks change. They did it right next to where the tracks change every single time. The lever's right there every single time. They just go and they change the tracks. It's like, dude, just pick one where there's no track changes. They can't save them. Like you could just, there's nowhere to go. I never understood it. These people are so dumb. Yeah, what's up?
That we should have on the pod.
Okay. Are you going to ask it?
First off, you don't have a live video.
I don't have a live video? I don't have live video?
Yes, I'm going to ask. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah. I can hear you, yeah. I'm saying yes, I can hear you.
Hey, bro, I'm letting you know this right here. Hey, bro, you looking at me crazy, but you disappeared. Okay, you was a great box for about 2 minutes. Then your audio cut. So don't act like it's me.
Well, maybe it is, yo. It didn't happen to me. I heard you the entire time.
It didn't happen to me neither. Like, you looking crazy. Me and Matt was having
That's
a
what
whole
I'm saying.
convo.
Yeah.
You saying you said I disappeared, but I heard you the entire time. So why does it have to be me? Maybe it's you. Mine worked perfectly.
Matt see me and can hear me. I don't know about you, bro. You're the only one I make out,
I can see you and hear you. You couldn't see or hear me. It wasn't me.
Yo,
I heard
guys,
you. I said yes.
Hey, I love you both, but I didn't come onto this pod to be the middleman. Okay, I don't want to be like, Matt was here. Matt was here listening. Matt was doing this. I'm not that guy. I'm not a scapegoat. I'm not one of those guys. Okay,
I didn't say that. I did not drag you into it. I just told Kyle he was wrong.
He just happened to be here.
He's only half.
I don't want one day we're gonna have. I don't want to one day have to go outside and you two are going to be standing at the end of the street and I have to pick between you two, okay? Like a fucking dog, right?
Or you'll just walk halfway in between us.
Yeah.
Halfway in between us, one half. Well, we're both
I'll go one side, 1.5 on one side.
That's what I'm saying. 1 point, 1 point. Yeah. You're going to split. You're going to split in the middle so you're halfway on both.
Yeah. I'll just stretch my arms and legs out.
Hey, let's introduce the podcast. Welcome to let's introduce the podcast. Welcome to Sketching Up. I'm Chris with Matt and Kyle. And before we get back into this debauchery that's going on, let's do some quick programming reminders. There is a new Offstage podcast that you can listen to right now on Schnabel Studios. And you can also listen to a new Mad Props that's coming. These guys know who the guest might be, but I'm not going to announce it until it happens. But it's kind of cool if we get really this person. Cool. So definitely stay tuned. There will be a new Mad Props coming out very soon. So stay with the Schnabel Studios page. You can also follow us on social media, Schnabel.studios on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube. If you're not watching and you're listening, YouTube at least. If you're on YouTube, well, go listen somewhere else as well. Give us all the views and all that other stuff that you possibly can, because we could take all of it.
Button.
Hit the like button. Hit the share button. The share button. I think personally, I think the share button is just as important as the subscribe button on anything, or the follow, or whatever you want to say. I think the share button is just as important. So do all that. Keep this podcast going. Not like it's gonna stop. We're at 75 episodes. We don't really care about any of that stuff. Apparently, because we just keep rolling on along, take nice breaks, and come back all the time. But we are here with another great episode. I'm leaving all that stuff in the beginning in, so everyone's going to hear all the great stuff that we were just going over, which would be a lot of fun. But in this episode, we are going to have a little bit of structure with it. We want to talk a little bit about Blue Beetle. The trailer dropped. It was really good. We're going to talk about the new Deadpool series that is out right now very quickly. But I actually have a question for you two. So we're going to go right back into stuff that doesn't have anything to do with anything we're talking about. So I asked you guys earlier if you want me to ask you the question or not. You want to hear it live on air. I was thinking about a date I had a long time ago when I was in college that was just very weird, very bad. And I want to know if you guys had any stories like that of a bad date that not necessarily was bad because there was no chemistry, or just bad because like there was something really dumb that happened. Now, if you want me to go first and to kind of tell my story while you guys think about it, because you're going right off the top, this question was not asked yet, so they don't have anything ready to go. So if you want me to go first, I could think of one. The one I was thinking of, I can just talk about really quick, and then you guys can go after that if you want. How's that sound? Or do you guys know already?
Go off. I know one, so I tell this one all the time. So
you can go. You can go right after me. So this probably isn't the worst date I've ever been on, but I was just thinking about it because it was so weird. So this when I was in college, this girl came over and we were gonna go out and stuff like that, and it was very odd. We'd stayed in my apartment the whole time. We didn't watch TV or anything, and she ate all of my old dinner out of my refrigerator. It was like this really weird mixture of like ground beef and noodles, which when it was cooked was very good, but it was probably ready to be thrown out, just nasty, just ate it all and like ate all the food and then just like never heard. I don't even know if she returned to the school. Like I never saw her again. Like it was very weird. But the weird part about it was how much she ate and enjoyed the old noodles. Like they were in the refrigerator for a couple days. So it's like when the noodles get hard, like they probably need to be boiled again type of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there like, like you kind of lose all interest in somebody when you're watching them do something that you're like, is this how you're going to live your life? Like whether this is long-term or short-term, is this how you're going to live your life? Like, is this something, are you just going to be like, yeah, we cooked noodles 3 weeks ago. I think that it's in the cupboard. I'm like, cooked in the cupboard? What are you talking about? Like, so yeah, that one didn't last. It was very strange. We sat at a table. Nothing happened. Literally nothing happened. Like we just sat at a table. She ate all my old noodles, and then she left. I didn't walk her home or anything. She just left. I'm like, all right, that was just so weird. I never saw her again.
That's just awkward. That's so cringe. Oh, that's so
it's very
cringe.
Weird. So when I was thinking of that story, it made me want to ask you guys if you have anything that is like that story. If you guys have something like that. So Matt has one that he's ready to go with. So Matt can go first, and then Kyle, you jump in when he's done.
Yeah. So I just got out of a relationship. I was living in Philadelphia, and I moved from West Philly over to Old City, which is on the eastern side of the city. It's where the Liberty Bell is and everything. All historic. It was beautiful. So I guess like after probably 3 or 4 months, I decided to go back on Hinge and Bumble, all those stuff. So I met with a girl out at a bar that wasn't too far from my apartment. And I met her there. We were talking, having a good time. She got there early because I just drove back from work. I had to walk my dog, and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm probably gonna be a couple minutes late. And she was like, no, it's fine. I'm here. I'm just hanging out. And I was like, all right, cool. She's chill. She's okay. So I get there. She was already like 4 drinks deep. And I'm not talking like beers. She was rocking like every one of the mixed drinks on like the specials and stuff. And I was like, holy shit. So she was in
gone.
One. She was completely
She was gone.
One. Yeah. So
in one or on one?
Oh God. She's definitely in one. She was definitely in one. So we had a good time at that bar, and she told me about another one because I told her I was like, I didn't live in the neighborhood for that long. I wasn't going out or anything. So she was like, oh, there's another great bar around the corner. Do you want to go there? And I was like, yeah, sure. So we went over there, and we're at the bar and we're drinking. It's kind of crowded, and she goes, oh my God, there's a girl there. I hate this girl, like all this stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. Do you want to go somewhere else? She's like, no, like I'm here. Like, I don't want to leave. And I was like, okay. And so
I think I know where this is going.
And so you have no idea where this is going because this gets batshit crazy. Okay. I'm standing there, and I'm standing at the bar, and the one girl's on my right, and the girl who she didn't like comes onto my left, and she's
Can we name this girl? Can we name this girl Ashley? So instead of this girl, call her Ashley.
Okay,
Ashley. Am I close to her name with that without saying her name? Is Ashley close?
No.
Okay. All right. Her name's Ashley now. Let's hear about Ashley.
Ashley was already in one. She's standing there, and then the girl she doesn't like, let's call her Becca. Becca comes and stands there, and
call her Becky. Becky is more of a girl's name that I'd be like, ugh.
Okay.
Becky was a mean girl in high school type thing, you know?
Well, the best part about it was like she never told me why she was so upset with this girl. Like I couldn't get out of her. She was like in a pumped up rage, and it was probably all the drinks she's had, but she was in a pumped up rage. And so Becky is ordering a drink, and Ashley leans over and yells, hey bitch, what are you doing here? And this girl Becky looks at her and like rolls her eyes and doesn't say a word and just keeps staring at the bar. And this girl, then Ashley again leans over and goes, what the fuck are you doing here? And this girl just shuts her out, is totally in her own world. So Ashley gets closer to me, and she kind of like side hugs me, and she puts her head over my shoulder, and she takes 2 fingers, shoves them down her throat, and vomits all over this girl.
What?
And
that is not where I thought that was going.
I told you guys. I told you guys. I told you guys. I told you. Yes. Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And and like at first I didn't know what happened, and you know, like when you see someone do it or you're like near someone, it sounds like a burp, and I was like, is she trying to yell at her and she just burped? Becky starts screaming bloody murder. And I kind of like take Ashley and push her off me, and I turn around and I see this girl, whole side of her is covered in all the colors of the drinks that she's been having.
My.
And it's just everywhere. And I look on me, and it's just going all the way down my back. It's like all the way down my back.
Damn, you had to burn your clothes?
Yeah, oh yeah. I haven't worn anything that I wore that day ever again. I'm going to tell you that right now. And the bartender was like, what the fuck? Everybody around was like, what is going on? I'm getting looked at, and I'm like, oh no. Like, I just moved here. Like, I don't know this girl. I really don't. I did not do any of this. And I'm just like, all right, we're going. And she's like trying to go after this girl, and I'm like, we're getting out of here. And I like drag Ashley out of the bar, and she is like, whatever, and just gets into a car. Like literally gets into a car. Like I didn't see
random
her
car?
Just a random car. And it definitely was like an Uber, but it wasn't her Uber. And at that point, I was so mortified. I was like, whatever. And I just walked down the street. I just walked down the street, and I come back, and my dog comes up to me and smells me and like takes 2 steps back and is like, what? Nope. And I'm like, nope. Don't even with me right now. Don't even right now. I like took all those clothes. I put them in a trash bag. And then I sat in the shower.
Threw them into a fire, I'd hope.
I
throw those clothes into a fire.
I sat in the shower for 2 hours. Like I sat in the shower for 2 hours.
But that wasn't you were probably sitting there, like not in a fetal position, but like, you know, the knees up. You're like this. And you're just like, what is life? What is happening?
Like, I was like, what did I just go through? What did I just go through? And I was like, I couldn't in that time or even now, like explain what could have gone through that girl's head to think about that. Like I'd rather her just thrown a punch at this girl. I don't know where she got. I'm gonna vomit on this girl.
That's kind of where I thought it was going. I thought she was going to try to make her jealous, like they used to date, like almost like a Scott Pilgrim type deal, you know? Like I was like, oh, this is where it's going. When you said threw up, I was like, okay, M. Night. All right.
Yep.
Can you top this story?
No. Do you want to stories that can probably match it, but not like dating? Okay. I have no dating story that tops that, but I do have. Oh no, I can't say that story. I can't say that story.
That was wild. That's wild.
So I've had. So in my younger days, I'm gonna say younger days. In my younger days,
okay, you're young still.
Yeah, my younger. That's why you say younger.
Yeah, but you're young still.
Schnabel can attest.
Yeah, he was young. It's true.
My taste in women when I was younger was just as wild as I was. Because I had like 3. They weren't girlfriends, but I've had 3 crazy women all writing, or really 4 all right back to back.
Oof. Oh God.
Yeah. And it was crazy to the point like
he drafts well.
You know what? I'm gonna tell one story. It was this girl I kind of dated in high school. We dated.
Dated. They used to hold hands. He used to put his hand in her back pocket as they walked.
Give her more than that. But I'm just keeping it being. So, me and her. So my mom had rims on her car. Shocker to him, right? Okay. So my mom had purple rims on her car. So my mom's car is kind of noticeable. So I used to drive my mom's car. I used to just like drive her to work so I could drive her to school, all that fun stuff, right? So the girl that I was talking to, she thought that was my car, like my actual car. Okay. So
you don't even have to finish at this point. We all know where this is going.
Okay. I don't know what thing I did to make her mad. It was probably, what did I don't know. I'm not even going to think about it because I was treacherous back then. So I did something to make her mad. So what happened was she ended up worked at a Publix, which is a grocery store for people who don't know what Publix is. It's a grocery store. She worked at the pharmacy. And unfortunately, that grocery store was 2 blocks away from my mama's house. So my mom goes to go shopping regular. My mom pulls in the parking lot. Just happens to pull in when, let's call her Sharkeisha.
Sharkeisha?
Yeah, let's call her Sharkeisha. Because it
almost makes me think that's her real name.
No, that's not her real name. It's the opposite.
Let's call her by her actual name.
No. If I call her by her actual name, you'll be
you
like,
went with
what?
Becky and Ashley. This man goes, let's go Sharkeisha.
It makes the story a little better.
It sounds like I just go to plain white bars. That's what it sounds like.
I can tell you some of the crazier stories off air. Like, whew,
all right, finish this one though. So your mom goes to the grocery store and Sharknado's coming out.
Yeah. Okay. So now, mind you, just a slight preface. Schnabel met my mom. My mom was a certified "I will wreck your life" type of person. Am I right, Schnabel?
Yeah, she was.
So now, Sharkeisha pulls up onto my mom's car, thinking it's me. So she thinking that it's me. Oh no. My mom opens the door. She gets out. Now, mind you, Sharkeisha tells me this story. So I know this was real. She pulls out. My mom looks at her. She said, "Who are you, ho?" My mom, now, Sharkeisha's eyes this big. She's like, "Oh, I thought this was Kyle's car." She's like, "No, ho, this is mine." My mom pulls a Glock out and says, "How you trying to play it, gangster?" I said, "Oh." I said, "What did you do?" She said, "I just politely walked away." I said, "That's good." My mom was like, bro. Because my mom would have started in that parking lot, went into Publix, went to church, prayed, and went back home. Okay, I'm just letting you know that right now.
Sharkeisha never banged on another door again.
No.
My mom. So this is what makes it worse. I come home. My mom looks at me. She said, "I met one of your little hoes today. Make sure she never looks at me in my face again." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Just make sure that hoe never look at me in my face again." I'm like, I didn't even want to say "or what" because I didn't want nothing to happen to me. So I just looked at her and said, "Okay,
look out for number one."
Yo, for real. And I said, "Oh, okay, mama." I literally called Sharkeisha. I say, "It's over." Click. In that moment.
Yeah. With these run of crazy women, maybe you should have had this happen more often. You broke it off that fast after that. It's done. See you later.
It's bye. See ya.
That's a good way to do it.
Cartoon smoke when you run away. God.
Well, now you guys, now everybody knows a little bit more about all of us. You got a little deeper into our personalities. So I'm glad that I brought that question to the table. So let's get a little bit into what the podcast is like named after and stuff. Let's talk a little bit about Ashley Wong's run. Go ahead.
Slight. It's just, and I swear to God, it does. It merges both worlds of debauchery. And I wanted to ask this question because I was watching something yesterday. What is the one thing in you, like, I'm going to say anime for me. So what is one thing in your preferred genre that upsets you? I'm going to go first.
This is hilarious. Hold on. This is hilarious because I was thinking of text, not for tonight, but I was thinking of texting you guys something that's just like that. We could talk about it later. Dude, we're always on the same wavelength. We're always on the same wavelength. I swear. That's why we have to 1.5, baby.
Okay, if you want to be honest, in my ranking of people all time, you do crack the top 5.
Oof, that's good. All time? You're on the all-time list at least.
Damn, better than
have you higher
Gandhi and MLK.
Nah, dog, you're higher than 3 of my siblings on my like list.
Wow.
3.
Do they crack the top 10?
No.
They don't crack the top 10, so there's a lot of people higher than them.
No. There's only 4 people higher. Really, it's my mom, my godparents, my sister, and then you.
So go. I'm higher than Chris on this list, but not on the Chris list? How does that make sense? He's like ESPN, man. He's so political. He's like, on this one, you're going to be ranked second, but on this one, we'll rank you 4th, and then this one will rank you 1st.
And then it averages out to where
I'm 2.5, baby. 2.5, just like everyone else. You know, like 2.5.
I'm just letting you know that.
All right, sorry. Go ahead. I just want to say we're on the same wavelength because I had a similar thing like this. It was actually, I think it was almost the same question. So that's amazing.
I mean, we can have a deep dive into this another day. By the way, we have to title this pod 1.5. We have to. Yeah,
I think it does have to be 1.5. Although it might get a little confusing when you see 75, 1.5. 75 episode 1.5. What?
Okay. Or you can say I'm 1.5.
Oh, don't worry. I have plenty of ideas for this. I'm an ideas man. All right, I'm an ideas man.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm derailing.
This has been the most fun I've had. I don't know how people are going to feel listening to it, but I had a lot of fun.
I'm having a wonderful time.
It's throwback 2020 right here. 2021, actually. Throwback 2021 right here.
Oh, Matt, this is what our shows used to be like.
I haven't talked a second about comic books, a second about cartoons. Nothing.
You almost got there too, Schnabs. You almost got there.
Right there, like, I know.
Well, no.
All right, go ahead. But no, this is going to do it. So go ahead.
But so this is what be pissing me off about anime. When you got the hero who knows they got enough strength and they hesitate and they have this, I don't know if I want to do it. Do I really want to kill this person that has killed my entire clan? Yes! Like, yes! You do! Like, they take half an episode to come. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, this is it goes with yours. The dumbest thing in any, because we're talking about like comic book or anime or something like that. So like action, you want to like action based. Yeah, the dumbest thing in any of these is the 1-by-1 goons. It's so dumb. It's so dumb that goons come at people 1 by 1 when there's 50 of them versus 1 of them. Like, why don't you just all go at once? It makes no sense. Why are we going 1 by 1? It makes absolutely no sense. It goes with.
That's the best with the memes of like, oh, I guess those monsters just waited for the Power Rangers to morph. Like, they're like all morphing, and the guy's just standing there like, oh, okay, I guess I'll let this happen. I can kill them. They're just teenagers right now, but then they morph into superheroes. Let me just wait for that. Let me wait for that.
It's stuff like that we just accept that, like, kind of like irritates you a little bit. It's like, oh no, something's attacking the school. Wait, where'd Peter go? Spider-Man's here. Whoa. Like, it's like, oh, like they come put two and two together. Every time something attacks the city, Peter just disappears. No one realizes that. J. Jonah Jameson doesn't start putting two and two together. He's the only photographer in all of New York that seems to be able to get pictures of Spider-Man. No one else can do it. He gets these up close ones. I do love, like, there's I don't know what cartoon or something there it was on. It was probably, I think it was something Adult Swim or something like that, but they'll do like the it can't be me. See, here's me with that, and it'll be like a dog in Spider-Man costume, and just like this. It's so funny. It's like, I can't be me. Look, here's me with Spider-Man. It's like a dog in a Spider-Man costume.
You're like, you don't have no friends that have the same build as you, that you just can't get to play Spider-Man, that literally has the same build as you, and you can't get them to play Spider-Man. Like,
well, at the same time. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, because I already talked a lot. Go ahead.
It's like the same thing with the Superman problem. Like, he's Clark Kent and Superman.
We're all in the same wavelength.
But the best part,
say Superman.
But the best part about that is, like, every comic book like adaptation, or let me say it's like TV adaptation of like Superman and Batman like finds out who Clark Kent is within like a couple of minutes of the episode, and they're like, wow, you are really the greatest detective. And he does all these things. It's like, you don't see this dude flying into the Daily Planet or his apartment. Like, you're not just walking up. Like, if I hear a plane if I hear a plane flying through New York City, I'm gonna look up and be like, oh. Or even over my apartment in New Jersey, I'm gonna be like, oh, there's a plane. Like,
you've never read Invincible. Nobody looks up. That was the whole thing. Remember, nobody looks up. They go and they hide. They get changed. No one looks up. And another thing, I don't remember what comic this was, and I don't think it was Invincible. There was another comic that was talking about like not wearing a mask, and it's like, unless you're really looking into it, you would never really put two and two together. It might have been someone explaining why Superman not wearing a mask, even though he like wears glasses and takes them off and stuff like that, it works. If you read the Superman comics, I know you've read the Superman comics, but if you read them, when they write the Superman comics, they write it so he talks like he's a nervous wreck, like he talks like that. And then when he's Superman, he talks with a deep voice, like his voice changes, his hair changes, his glasses change. And it's like, when you see Superman, you're not looking at him face to face. You're looking at him on TV. You're looking at him in the newspaper. You're looking at him like flying. You're looking at all this other stuff. And then when you see Clark Kent, you're looking up face to face. Like, no, unless you're looking at it side by side, you're gonna be like, "Hey, you look like Superman." You know what I mean? Like, or if they do, you're like, "Oh, that's hilarious, man." Like, yeah, I get that sometimes. Like, you're not gonna. I kind of understand that. Like, it is dumb. Like, it is kind of dumb. It's
not dumb. Because the reason why I say that, because like Family Matters with Urkel and then Stefan Urkel.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Like, oh God, did I just date us?
Did I just date us? A little bit.
No, you didn't. No, hold on. No, you didn't date us because Family Matters was right before us. Yeah, so you didn't date us. We still weren't alive for it. You remember Happy Days? Oh, did I just date us, man? Like,
yeah.
I watched Happy Days. That came out 30 years before I was born.
You remember when the Brady Bunch premiered? That was great.
I don't, but I heard it was really good.
I heard it was really good. It topped the charts on the TV when there was only like 8 shows on TV.
That new Leave It to Beaver episode is ill, bro.
All right, go ahead. You continue. We're done making fun of you.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I don't mind because your turn's coming.
My turn's coming. I feel like I got roasted the entire beginning of this and like the last episode. So.
Okay, but but I was just thinking about that just now, and I was just like, that's the kind, like, because what was I watching? I was watching One Piece, and he was sitting there like, I don't want to use my power against this really, 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 really powerful foe right now. I'm going to take a stand against the evil side of my power. So I'm sitting here, I'm looking, I'm like, so you finna destroy something that's finna make you slick invincible against somebody who can literally kill you, and you're just going to just stand on your principles and say, I'm not using this power?
Well, do you get frustrated by Batman never killing?
Yes. I think, The one thing,
but then he's not Batman anymore. You know, like that's like his biggest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that and he has prep time.
No, it's not even that.
Shut up about
prep time.
You know
Batman.
how big of a, you know I love Batman. Okay.
Not if I'll give you prep time.
Go away. I hate you.
You talk about my boy in prep time. Though.
Yeah, no, don't talk about him in prep time. I swear to God.
He can do
got 3 superpowers. He got 3 superpowers.
Prep time.
Money, equipment, and prep time. Prep time,
yes,
baby.
Sir. Yes, sir. Prep time number 1.
But he needs that when there's a dude who's invincible in his world, okay?
Give him a break. About it.
Give him a break, okay? You got a dude who has a power ring. You got a dude who can turn, who has every god.
I'm just saying he needs prep time.
Do you really want to have this conversation with me?
Yeah,
because my brother-in-law is a Superman stan. Me and him fight every Thanksgiving about this.
I want to come to Thanksgiving.
Dude, first of all, if that's your Thanksgiving arguments, you have a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Oh my God.
We go at it every time. Okay. Every time he brings up Superman, I look at him and be like, "Don't you come over here with that foo-foo." Like I had an argument with one of my coworkers the other week talking about. So this chick talking about that Iron Man is better than Batman. Right?
The fuck out of
here. And I looked at her.
I hate that. I hate it.
And I looked
Does he
at
have
her
prep time?
Said, man, bump that. Bump that. My boy don't even need no prep time for that. You just gotta
have to have a prep time counter now. Okay. You said prep time a million times. Now we have to have a prep
I will say right
counter.
now, if you give Batman prep time, he beats anybody. Anybody, but if you don't give him prep time, I don't think he has the same advantage. You give him prep time, though. I'm all team. I will give
you a bunch of story arcs where he does not have prep time. Okay, and he still wins.
That's fine, bro. Blind squirrel. Blind squirrel.
Hey, stop hating.
I love Batman. I'm way more Batman than Superman too.
I know you are. But look, all I'm saying is this, Schnabel.
I'm eating right now.
Hey, you know I'm not going to take no
Why
Bruce
you
Wayne
keep saying
slander. I'm not taking no Bruce Wayne slander. Hey,
yeah.
I love Bruce Wayne. First of all, there is no slander. I'm saying he can beat anybody with prep time.
He can. I just had to make sure there wasn't no sarcasm.
Of course he can beat someone with prep time, but he doesn't need it. The guy doesn't need it. He's proven it time and time again. He doesn't need it.
That's my boy. I'm just saying, bro. The one thing that, and you know, this pains my soul to say this about my boy Bruce. Bruce always at my cookout. Bruce, you need to whack some of them folks. Stop being soft.
He's not Batman.
Whack some of them folks.
That takes away the Batman. Like he can't.
Batman. He's not Batman anymore. He can't kill that.
I said outside of the lore and the integrity of the comics and crap. But my personal feeling, hey bro, it's okay. You could have whacked the Joker after he killed one of the Robins. We would have been cool with that.
Well, I mean, they do a whole they do a whole thing. You know, the Dark Knight's metal story arc does all these Batmans that like turn evil because he does end up killing, and they're nightmares. They are absolutely nightmares of people.
Yeah,
and
that's
like. You understand why he doesn't kill.
Matt could probably say this is true or not because he's definitely read more Batman than I have. I haven't read that much, but I believe the reason it's in his nature not to kill, but it's because once you do the first, there's more to come.
After that,
it's the first one that's the one that you can't do because after that you've done it, so you can keep doing it.
Yeah, it's a lot of these stories where like. You see him do it once already. Like there's like the one where he actually gets a Green Lantern ring, and he gets a Green Lantern ring, and Green Lantern rings can't kill. The whole premise of them is you can't kill with them, and his willpower is so strong. He first uses it and actually kills someone just by using it once. Because his willpower is so strong. Now he does it once, and you see the psychological like effects happen in him, and like Chris said, it's very easy. He just goes, "Oh, that was easy. Let me go do this again. I'm just gonna deal with it this way and just go on." And that is just the epitome of it.
I mean, I get it. I mean, I understand the integrity of it, but that was my personal feelings after I seen my boy Robin get whacked like that. I was like, "Dang, Batman, I get it, but dang, Batman."
Yeah, I mean,
See,
it's that big question, is Batman doing the right thing? It's a question that's been brought up in the Batman comics quite frequently because it's all about, is Arkham just a revolving door? He puts all these guys away, they all break out, and it has to do with these super criminals get under the skin of the jailers, they get under the skin of the doctors, they get under the skin of the police, and they just do a revolved door. So the one thing that Batman has never been able to solve is getting Gotham to be a coherent one unit city, where there are too many areas of the city where these super criminals can prey on and keep getting more power, getting more money, getting more influence over politicians, over police officers. There's never an ending surplus for them to go, "Oh, I have an out. I can get back out there, and me and the Bat are going to go back at it again." And you see it the most in the character of the Penguin, because in the beginning the Penguin was this dude who's robbing banks, going after everything that has to do with birds and just everything that way. But then he evolves into becoming this underground mob boss, where he's doing drugs, he's doing gun running, he's doing prostitution, he has this whole ring that he owns. And now it's just like, okay, Batman kind of had to say, all right, I can't keep dealing with the Penguin, let's put him in his own thing. He has the Iceberg Lounge, he runs things out of there, but I'm going to keep an eye on it, because if it gets over a certain level, he goes in and he takes out Penguin, and then Penguin goes back to the Iceberg Lounge, and he just kind of sits there and kind of is the head of everything, and then his whole empire just works everything. So Batman just takes down those people on a daily, and it just never makes it back to the Penguin. And that's a great example of Gotham just not being a city where you can fully stop the corruption these super criminals do and the hold that they have on this city. So
there you go.
It's
let's keep it on.
Let's
keep it on DC. Let's keep it on DC. Yeah. And Matt, you can stay with the conversation. Let's talk a little bit about the Blue Beetle trailer that came out. We didn't really get to talk about it when it came out because we were all in on the Mario movie, but now that is passed, we could talk a little bit about it. First of all, I have never really been a big DC movie person. I've seen most all of them, and there are some I like. Shazam is one of my top ones. I haven't seen Shazam 2 though. I think it came out, right? I haven't seen it.
It did.
I didn't hear great things about it, so I decided to wait until it came out where I could stream it. But I think this one's going to be good. It looks really good. It was great to see George Lopez, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, George Lopez. Didn't know what he's been doing, but it's great to see him again. I heard the cowbell going the minute he was on the screen. But it looks.
That's what I think about.
It looks
too.
really. It looks really good, and even though some of the CGI in the trailer itself I didn't think was their best. Obviously, they have time to clean it up and stuff like that. I thought the costume looked legit. Like, I'm reading Radiant Black right now, and it just screamed Radiant Black. The costume, that is, not the powers or anything, but the costume itself, it looks so slick. But I'll let Matt and Kyle kind of go off more on this because this is their runway to take off from. I just wanted to get my quick. I think it's going to look really good. It made me excited. Anytime it's excited to see more, it's successful, right? As we said about Mario too. Like, you're excited for more, then it's successful. So whoever wants to go first, I don't care. Talk over each other.
Because I know Matt's gonna go. Like, I'll start because I know Matt's gonna go because this is his thing. Because this is what he really wanted to talk about. So, like, I really liked it. When I watched the trailer, I was hyped because I was like, "Oh, we finally gonna get a decent DC movie."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can
There have been
finally, you know what I'm
some
saying?
decent
Oh,
ones.
well,
There
been a
really
few.
have.
Oh yeah, there have been a few. But
Shazam has one of the best comedy moments of any superhero movie. The absolute best. When they're in the air and he's yelling his evil plan and it goes back to him, he's like, dude, we're like 10 miles away.
Yeah.
I can't hear you. It's so funny. It's so damn funny because it's just so good. It's so meta. It's great. Continue. Sorry.
But no, I was hyped because I really loved the way the suit looked and all of that. It was beautiful. I liked it. I was.
And you're a big George Lopez guy.
Oh man,
how can you not be? How can you
long
not be?
hair.
I love the show, but I love his wife in the show more.
Oh
But
yeah,
I love.
Yeah, what is she doing these days?
But yeah,
Does anybody even know her name?
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I'm just with this.
No one knows.
But we didn't hear you because you went out.
Yeah.
I said, what is she doing these days?
I don't know what she's doing.
His wife. And I was like, does anyone know her name? And then you're like, yeah, well, I was like, so no one knows.
No, I don't know her. I think it's like Constantine or something. Was it like Constantine or something? It was something crazy too. I remember looking it up.
His wife's name, or the actress's actual name is Constantine?
No.
It's something wild. Okay, watch.
There's no way her name is Constantine. I just don't believe that.
No, her actual name.
Constance, my bad. Constance.
Yeah, Constance.
You were very close.
Marie.
You were very close.
Yeah.
You were very close. Constance Marie? Oh,
Yeah.
you were right. You were basically right there. That's a good job by you.
He was there.
Yeah, that's a great job by you. I'm giving you
He's got
props.
this.
I'm giving him props. I'm giving him his props. What is she doing now that you looked it up? She doing anything good? Living the George Lopez life? She at the Comic-Cons now? George Lopez's wife?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't seen her in anything. So
let me see what she's been doing.
I haven't seen any of them. But the
She's
kid's name was Max. What was the
Blue
daughter's name?
She's definitely popping up in Blue Beetle.
The whole family.
The whole family's
The
there.
kid.
She's
I think
in an episode of How I Met Your Father.
She's in one episode.
Yeah, she has a few.
That's
like
good.
She was in that 70s
She's a role
show.
player now.
Yeah, she's one of those role players because she was in like Law and Order.
She was a role player. She was a starter for a little bit. Now she's a role player.
I like it though because she was cool.
She's making a career for herself. What about the kids? Max and I don't remember what the girl's name was. What are they up to? Well,
it was Carmen. The girl's name was Carmen.
Carmen. And it was Max, right?
Yeah,
Max. Yeah, so we got his name is Luis Garcia. Let's see what
that sounds like an athlete.
Right?
Sounds like a pitcher from the late 90s.
Well, the
Luis
girl who played Carmen was actually in Sharknado 4 and 5. So
she's made a career for herself.
She's killing it.
She's killing it.
I don't think the dude has done nothing.
She made a Sharknequa for herself, or whatever the name was.
and she was in the last Sharknado. Okay, she was in the movie The Last Sharknado. It's About Time. That's what the movie is called. The Last Sharknado.
Yeah, those titles became became meta after like 2 or something like that.
Yeah,
maybe 3. They became super meta. They knew what they were doing. There was no seriousness to those movies from the beginning. I think Tara Reid stars in those movies. There's no seriousness to that movie from the very beginning. Tara Reid used to be like a magazine cover girl, and then I don't know when. Anyway, we want to hear Matt's Blue Beetle. Let's hear Matt's Blue Beetle. All right, sorry, George.
No, it's all good. I'm really excited for this movie because it is set in the new DCU. So this movie's not getting changed by anything that happens in The Flash. So they've already set it up, which is a lot of fun because I love Jaime Reyes. And in one of the scenes from the trailer, they get to what they have like the Beetle lab where the second Blue Beetle Ted Cord set up. So there were 3. If people don't know, Blue Beetle, Jaime Reyes, who we're going to see in the movie, is actually the 3rd adaptation of Blue Beetle. The first Blue Beetle was Dan Garrett. The second one was Ted Kord. And then we have Jaime Reyes. Dan Garrett found the Scarab and actually was able to pull the technology from it to become the Blue Beetle and be a superhero. Then Ted Kord got it and it wasn't working for him, but he still wanted to carry on the mantle because Dan Garrett was his mentor and kind of a father figure to him. So he wanted to continue it. So he built, we saw the Beetle ship that George Lopez was flying, and it seemed a lot of fun. And you see both Ted Kord's and Dan Garrett's suits in the background of that scene when they're in like the lab of Ted Kord where all his gadgets were. So it's fun to see that because then we know Dan Garrett and Ted Kord exist in this movie and in this universe. And also Jaime Reyes is trying to, like, the premise of it is Jaime Reyes is trying to get a job at Kord Industries, and someone gives him the Beetle gets attached to him, and then he is now the new Blue Beetle. And so I'm really excited because this opens up, because we know we're going to get a Booster Gold story, and Booster Gold is best friends with Ted Kord in the comics. They're best friends. And so, my theory is they Ted doesn't seem like he's alive in this movie, but my theory is that he's still alive, but he's with Booster but Booster is a time traveler. So Booster goes to different timelines and different eras of time and acts as a superhero in those times. And so I could see them looping Ted back in and having Ted kind of mentor Jaime when he gets back. And that could be part of the story, because we have the antagonist is the great Signavi Weaver. I can't say her first name. And she, I think it's her. I want to say it's her. But she is the antagonist, and I think she runs the like Ted Industries, or yeah, I think it's Ted Industry. And so she has something to do with it, and so it's very interesting how they're going to loop her into this, and how we're going. Oh no, it's Susan Sarandon. My bad, everybody. It was Susan Sarandon. Oof. And she's playing Victoria Kord, so she's somehow related to Ted, but she is the antagonist in the movie. So this will be very interesting to see how they loop her and Ted's story into the story of Jaime getting the Beetle and getting the Scarab, and just how it works. So I think, like, it was so cool seeing him whip out that huge sword at the end. It's like a Final Fantasy sword. He brought that thing out. Like, think of any weapon and I will make it. And he just whips out a Final Fantasy sword. This thing definitely is just insanely powerful. So
yeah, that was
it just
sick.
looks like so much fun. And there's so much to do with such a young character. Blue Beetle is a newer character comparatively to what we've seen in the DC movies. So he is a new young character where we can see him grow up and kind of be the hero that he is in the comics, which is a lot of fun to see.
And James Gunn wants to do that. I mean, that's kind of what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy, it was like it's not the first iteration, it's like the fourth iteration of the Guardians, like that group. It's like, and that's what he likes to do. He likes to take those characters. That's why he loved Peacemaker, because Peacemaker had like no lore whatsoever. So he kind of got to do what he did. Kyle, have you watched Peacemaker yet?
So you say it's on Amazon? I tried to look for it. It wasn't on.
Oh my God, Max. This guy still hasn't. It's on HBO Max. He still hasn't watched HBO it.
Max. You said Amazon.
It's fantastic. I can guarantee you I did not say Amazon. Guarantee you I did not say Amazon, because it's DC. DC's all DC HBO Max.
I looked at it. Never mind, that's on me, bro.
Yeah. He's trying to blame me, and I know for a fact I didn't say that. Anyway, doesn't matter. But
I do have Hulu, so I need to just add it. I need to add the HBO.
But that's that's kind of what he likes to do is take those. That's why there's a lot of storylines that aren't like mainstream that are going out there, because they can kind of move around with it a little more. And because of the way the DCEU kind of like, we'll just say it, they flopped in the first one, right? Like the way they flopped, you take these smaller ones that don't have as much lore or aren't as connected to people. Like people love Blue Beetle, people love all these characters, but they're not like Batman. You know what I mean? They're not Superman. So like they're able to kind of build this stuff the way they want to, using the lore, using some of their own stuff and stuff like that. So that's good job by Mr. Gunn.
That's why I liked his iteration of the Suicide Squad, because those villains you didn't really know. Like Polka Dot Man is such a deep cut. Like that is a deep cut DC.
That's his thing, man. The deep cuts. He's a big deep cut guy.
Like, no one really knew who King Shark was. Like no one would have known. Like
unless you saw the Harley Quinn series. Unless you saw the Harley Quinn series.
You saw him, or if you saw they did an iteration of King Shark on the Flash. Like, but you really didn't know
the TV show, right?
About. Yeah. So like,
but I believe really all three of them are different, aren't they? Like different like versions. Like the one, I don't remember the one from the Flash too well. I believe the one from the Flash was more of like I don't want to say a mobster, but like a brute, like just like a brute. The one from the Suicide Squad movie was like a dummy, and the one from the Harley Quinn show is like comedy relief. Like he's a big softy. The whole point is he's a big softy. So like there are like three completely different iterations. Now, if I got the Flash one wrong, you can correct me because I don't really remember. But I think those were three different.
The Flash one was it was like a scientist who was working with shark DNA, and he injected himself with it, and he turned into King Shark pretty much, and that's pretty much what.
Yeah, and then he was just like a brute. Like he was just like he just kind of destroyed everything that came through.
Yeah, he didn't have a mind or anything. Like he couldn't think or anything like that.
But the one in Suicide Squad's just a dummy. Like he's just a dummy. Like they're making fun of it even. And then in Harley Quinn, he's comedic relief. I believe that's Funchess or something like that. What the heck's that guy's name? The voice actor. I believe that was King Shark. Yeah, I believe
I can get that.
That's King Shark. Ron Funches or something like that. Very funny. He's awesome. He has a very known voice in voice acting. Like you'd know it immediately by hearing him.
Yeah,
Ron Funches. Yeah, the
so
minute
funny.
you hear his voice, you would know who it is. Like he's a very distinct voice actor.
They did such a good job as the voice cast in that show.
That voice cast is insane.
So good.
So good. So good.
It's so much fun. Like Dr. Psycho was like my favorite character out of that show.
Because that's Tony Howe.
Tony Howe.
It's Tony Howe. That's Buster.
Yeah,
that's Buster Bluth.
Yeah.
So great. It's so great. But Blue Beetle, man. If you haven't seen the trailer for that, definitely go check it out. It was very good. Before we wrap up, quickly, I'm just gonna say I'm not even going to talk about the Deadpool thing. I'm just going to say, Kyle, you need to read the new Deadpool by Alyssa Wong. It has 5 issues out right now, and basically the premise in the very beginning, I think I'm 3 or 4 issues in right now, so I haven't read the 5th one. But Deadpool's captured, and he's given the Carnage symbiote inside of him to regenerate the Carnage symbiote. And like the Carnage symbiote then like is part of him for right now as it tries to regenerate. And it is excellent. The humor is really good. It's so spot on. Like it's very easy to muff the Deadpool humor because you could just try to go really toilet humor, or you could just it can be muffed very easily. It is very spot on. I highly recommend this. If you like Deadpool, if you like Carnage, it's a solid one so far. So that's all I really wanted to say about it. I just wanted to say it on air to try to pressure Kyle and start reading it, because I shouldn't have to, because he loves Carnage. So like, and Deadpool, I mean, if you love Carnage, Deadpool is like the same thing. The first couple issues, he's trying to get into this assassin's gang, and his mission is to kill Doc Ock. And like he goes to Doc Ock, and it's like all hell breaks loose. It's really good. It's definitely worth reading. It is out right now, 5 issues deep.
Send me. I'm gonna have to get me like a comic book and a manga. I used to have a Viz Media like a manga app, and I need to get that back on my phone. But I'm gonna do that too because when you're a football coach, you be at places you don't want to be at for a long period of time. So
I do know. I carry my tablet everywhere I go because I can read my comic books on it. I have the new Max, whatever this version is. What is this, the 14, right? The newest one. Mm-hmm. When I got my phone, I got the Max. So when I need to read comics on it, I can read comics on it. That is the reason I got the Max, is so I can actually read comics on it. Usually I'd get the smaller one. But I went out and got a different one because I was like, when I'm sitting there at like the DMV or I'm sitting there waiting for XYZ, I'm on a bus going to somewhere, whatever it is, I want to make sure if I forgot my tablet, it's big enough to where I could see it. Or if I zoom in, it's still at a good, because like if you have a small phone and you zoom in, it sucks still, you know what I mean? And yeah, so I want to make sure I had a good sized phone so I could read my comics. So comic books are literally the reason I got a big phone. That's it.
That's fair.
It's the only reason.
Same here.
Yeah. Only reason I got a big phone. Isn't that crazy? Comic books is the reason I did that.
Yep. I've always had a large phone for comics. So
yeah. You have to. Yep. You have to. It's been an excellent episode, at least in my eyes. We'll see how the listeners respond. But it's been an excellent episode of Sketching Up. Remember, you can look up Schnabel Studios on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn if you want to follow us on any of those. You can also look up Schnabel Studios anywhere you get your podcasts or on YouTube to see all the Schnabel Studios podcasts that are out, right? You just had a new Offstage podcast, and later this week or early next week, depending on the scheduling of the guest, there will be a new Mad Props as well, which I'm so excited for. I've been dying to get Mad Props back out there. So Mad Props will be going as well. So there's a couple new episodes of stuff you can see there. You can also listen to our review of the Super Mario movie. We did that last week on Thursday. Go ahead and go back one episode from here if you're listening on Spotify, or just hit the back button on YouTube, or look for the little tag up top during this episode, and we will have that on there as well. Actually, you know what we'll do? We'll have it at the end of this episode. So when we get to the end, it goes black and the two videos pop up. Click the one that says Super Mario movie is here, episode 74 of Sketching Up. You could definitely go check that out. That episode of Offstage, by the way, and Kyle, you'll really feel this more. That episode of Offstage was the 6-year anniversary of episode 2's recording. So we recorded it 6 years ago, April 7th. Yeah. So 3 days ago, 6 years ago that was the second one. So the first one recorded 7 years ago. So Offstage is almost 10 years old.
Dog, I remember.
It's getting there. 3 years from that. Wow, you made the song for it. Like, you were there from the very beginning. You're credited in it. You're credited. You're in the credits.
I remember that. Oh God, man, you came to. We got to.
Yeah, I mean, this. By the way, this is a future. It's a future Offstage episode, having you on and talking about when Brandon and I traveled to Nashville and to Atlanta, and we went to Connecticut. We went and filmed. Like, we filmed like 5 episodes in like a week. It was crazy. It was madness. It was so fun. But we went to Kyle's. We stayed at his place. He had no air conditioning in August. It was great. He's in Atlanta for people that don't know.
Yo, that's going to be a fun episode.
There's a picture of B. Gill setting up a camera with T-Rex in the background, and he has like an ice pack on his neck because it was so hot in your house, and we had to have all the windows closed because we were recording, so it needed to be quiet. It was burning in that house, man. That was crazy. Crazy.
My AC was
different level of heat. A different level of heat. It's a different level. It's like humidity, but trapped. There's humidity trapped. Check all that stuff out. Definitely stay around with the Offstage podcast because there'll be a lot more going on. And like I said, Mad Props will be coming out, and I think Kyle's going to start working on Southern Hospitality. So you might even see that in the upcoming weeks, which would be great. That'd be great. A little something. Thank you guys for joining us on another episode of Sketching Up. We appreciate you being here. We will see you next time on episode 76. But for now, we're going to say goodbye. Goodbye from Sketching Up. See you later.